All right, so before you start having fun with your own store, let's make sure that all of the settings are configured correctly so that you can start the right way and automation will be in place. So here I am on the settings page on AutoDS. The first thing that I would like to set is the pricing settings, because this is something that you have to know how to do before you even start marketing. Since once you start marketing, people will go to your product page and you'll want the right prices to be seen so that they will purchase at the right prices. So we are here at the settings. The selected store is the store that we would like to create these settings for. Then you're going to click on the supplier that you're using. You can do it for multiple suppliers, but you will have to click on each one. Whoever your supplier is, you want to make sure that you have the pricing settings enabled. So here I'm going to click on the pricing tab. And now let's start to set this up. So again, you can price all of your products from the products page or while you're importing it from your drafts page. But what this does is once you have it set in the options, then every time you add a product from the selected supplier to the store, then it will be priced automatically and you will not have to do it one by one for every new product that you add. You can of course edit the products later, but it's much easier to do it this way. So the first thing that I'm going to set here under pricing is the total fees that we're paying Shopify. Now with the payment settings that I used, which in my case is Stripe, I'm paying a 2.9% transaction fee. So I rounded that up to 3%. Here, you need to make sure that you have your fees calculated. If you're not sure, you can also click on Help Me Calculate. Set the options here, how much payment fees you're paying, store fees, additional fees, and things like that. But in my case, it's just 3%. Then there's also a fixed dollar amount. So I also know that Shopify takes 30 cents. If you're not sure, just go to your settings page on Shopify, click on the payments and see how much you are paying your payment provider to know exactly how much fees you are paying. So I'm paying 3% plus 30 cents. And on top of that, I want to start making my profit. So if this is my break even, I want to make, let's say, no less than 60% profit and an additional 30 cents to cover for those 30 cents that I'm paying. So this is how much I want to profit in my case. You can choose whatever profitability you think is right for you, but I wouldn't go below 50, 60% profit because at the end of the day, we do need to make a profit. We do need to make a return on our ad spend and start making money and profits as soon as possible, which in my case with this store is around 3 to 4 days. And hopefully for you, it'll be the same as well, so that in week 1, week 2, you're already making nice profits. At the end of month 1, you're super happy with your results. Okay, so I've got my fees set up here. I want to make an additional 60% and 30 cents. Now you can also choose an automation here. I'm going to show you how to do pricing automation as well. So if you didn't do it yet, you can just keep this on no automation, and minimum profit per product. If you want to have a minimum, I will keep this on 0. Next, you can go with dynamic profit as well. So here, what you're telling the system is, okay, every time I add a product from this supplier to this store and the product costs anywhere between 0 to, let's say, $20, then I want to make my 60% profit and 30 cents. Now I want to add an additional rule. Every time it costs anywhere between $20 to, let's say, $30, then I will go with 55% profit and keep the 30 cents. And you can keep adding more and more rules. So this way it gets added automatically and you won't have to do different pricing according to different price points that you may have. Okay, so that is dynamic profit. Next, you've got additional pricing settings, which is compare price. So this is that price slasher that you see on your Shopify product page. So you have a normal price and it'll get slashed down to the actual selling price that you have. So here, if I have it enabled, then I can do a, let's say, 40% price slash. And now every price that I have on my store will still be that price, but it'll be slashed from a higher price. In this case, you'll have a 40% higher price slashed down to your regular selling price. And I also like to go with set price since value and go with 0.99 or 0.97, whatever looks good to you. So this way, your product prices won't be $160.41. It'll be $160.97 or 99 cents, whatever you decide to round it up to. And of course, have include shipping price. Super important. I explained this earlier, but just in case you forgot, what this does is if your supplier is charging you for shipping, let's say product costs $10, shipping $5, then the total product cost is actually $15. So it'll take the shipping price and include it into your source price so that you can still offer free shipping to your buyers while maintaining your desired profit margin, whether you're paying for shipping or not. So you always want to have this on. We don't want to charge our customers for shipping. It just doesn't look good, and we'll still keep our desired profit margin. So we want to have that on. This is how your pricing page should look like. Go ahead and save when you are finished. And let's go through the rest of the essential settings to have on AutoDS. So before pricing, you have the lister settings. And these are default settings for every time you list a product from the supplier to the store. So the default product quantity that you always want to have on, the shipping methods, which I recommend to have cheapest with tracking. So when you grab a product from your supplier, there are multiple shipping methods that your supplier supports. Here it's going to choose the cheapest as long as it has tracking. I wouldn't go with cheapest because then it could go with the cheapest shipping setting, but no tracking information. And I also wouldn't go with fastest with tracking because this way it will choose the fastest, even if that could cost you $10, $20, whatever, and then you may not be in the profit zone. So we want to go with the cheapest shipping option with tracking available. Then you've got advanced lister settings. So allow duplicates. I always have that off. I will allow out of stock variations because when they get in stock, they will automatically go in stock in my store as well. And you can choose the rest, capitalize title, autofill the brand, split variants into products. I usually don't have this on because if I have variants, I want those variants to be able to be selected on that product page instead of having each variant as a standalone product page. Add categories to tags, upload variations, apply watermark, duplicate main image up to 12, and allow Vero or blocked keywords. I'm going to go over the block keywords soon. You'll see that in the next settings. Then we've got price and stock monitoring settings. You always want to have price monitoring and stock monitoring. There's no reason to have that off unless you are not drop shipping. Then you've got AI optimization settings. So this can automatically optimize your titles and descriptions while you're uploading it so you won't have to manually do it later. So this is a great option to have. Choose how you would like to have the tone and the temperature of the title and the descriptions as well. Then you've also got default item specifics if you want to have anything permanent there. And once you're done with here, you're going to go ahead and click on save. And we already did the pricing tab. Next, we've got orders. We already set this when I went over the order settings and I processed the orders that came in into my store. Last but not least, you've got general. So what is the default weight unit? Ship to what country? I usually have this on the default settings. Next, you've got automations. So this is a cool pricing automator that increases the price of a product as it's making sales. So if a product is selling, it will increase the price and will continue increasing as long as it's making sales so that you can make more and more and more profit. And same thing the other way around. If it stops making sales or not making sales, it starts to decrease the price down to a certain limit that you set so that you won't end up losing money. So it will decrease the price until it will find that spot where it does sell. Then it will start to increase again, and it'll just keep doing this until it finds that perfect sweet spot where the price is as high as possible and still maintaining sales so that you can have the highest profitability while continuing to make sales. So this is a great thing to have. You can go ahead and click on add automation, give it a name like gadgets store automation, click on next. Then of course, this is going to be toggled on. So raise price by sales performance. If I'm making, let's say, more than 2 sales every 7 days on a product, then I want you to raise the price, let's say by 5% up to a limit of 30% because I don't want to be too expensive. And you can also do it with a fixed amount. Click on next. And same thing other way around. Okay, if I'm not making any sales for this product, let's say I'm making less than 1 sale every 14 days. So if it's not selling at least once every 2 weeks, then I want you to decrease the price by 5%, or let's say 6 or whatever you said. Okay, let's say 8% down to a limit of 30% because I don't want to end up losing money. And that is good enough for me. Click on next. And now you can select what products you would like to assign these rules to because you just assigned rules, but you already have products in your store. So here the system is giving you a chance to add this pricing automation to those products. So you can select all of them or select some and go ahead and click on finish. Once that's done, the pricing automation will be enabled for those products as well and for any new product that you add. Next, we've got keywords. So this is where you can blacklist keywords from either being shown on your title, on your description, or completely block the products from being uploaded in the first place. Okay, so this is where you can set all of that. I don't need to demonstrate it. It's very, very simple and straightforward. Plans and add-ons, we went over that. Account and billing is where you can see your purchase history, your add-ons, and everything that you're paying for your subscription. Users is if you want to add virtual assistants. So this is a good thing to have. especially once you're scaling, once you're making sales, and once you're ready to have a virtual assistant help you on other aspects of your store, like for example, doing product research, adding product, maybe optimizing them in the way that works best for your store. So you can hire a virtual assistant and you don't need to give them access to everything all at once. So you're going to click here on add user, okay, write their name, like let's say King John, write their email address here, give them a password, and here you can give them privilege on all stores or a selected store. So in my case, I want to make it only for the gadget store. And here you can select what to give them access to. So for example, you can give them access to your dashboard. You can give them access to view and edit your drafts, view and edit your orders, and everything else that you see here. So you can give them access to specific parts of your store. And as you start to build your trust in them and they're performing well for your store, you can give them access and privilege to take more actions on your store, allowing you to spend your time on growing more stores, finding more winning products, working on marketing, and continue scaling your success. Next, we've got buyer accounts. So that's for automatic orders. We already went over that. And you've got notifications. So here you can get notifications sent to your email. So under digital email frequency, you can do it on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis and simply get updates every time an order fails, when a new order comes in, when tracking number is available, when an order successfully updates, and same thing for monitoring. So if something goes out of stock, if something in the pricing changes on your store, you can get all of these notifications sent to your mail. So you set that up here and click on save when you're done. Last but not least is store settings. So here you're going to click on the store on the left side. I've got a lot of stores connected to this account, but this one right now is Gadget Store. And here you can do technical things like renewing token or resyncing your store if you need to, getting your free .store domain if you didn't get it from the Build Your Store flow. And branding settings, you can upload your logo here. So then if you add products from AutoDS's private suppliers that support customizable branding, as I showed more towards the beginning of this video, then it will be sent out with your logo that you uploaded right here. And other settings like setting a store watermark and getting more help from Fiverr services, Fiverr freelancers. You got a nice promo code right here to use. So all of that is in store settings. That is how to set up all of the essential settings in AutoDS so that you can easily import products. They'll already be priced, they'll already be optimized, and everything will fall into place and become easier and more scalable as you go along.